And it's a pretty good matchup. It's Canada versus Chile. I think this would have been a very, very interesting match last year, but this year Chile's roster taking a big hit and just a couple of swaps on Team Canada, mostly the same from last year, that roster which finished 4th, qualifying 4th again this year. Zylice, Kurtis, Nick, Rupertion, RyuK, and Saryi, their 2 subs from last year, and Xootynator and Yip. Chile with a rebuilding year this year. Eunha, Gonzah, mocaccino, number 37, Pancho, Suntan, Enable, and ChXChokgamer for their roster.
Yeah, lots of changes here. Most notably Chile without Matthew. Canada, though, still looking strong and actually one of the favorites to go deep into the tournament. I think some people maybe have Canada sneaking into top 3. I think I've seen some people predicting that. They definitely look like they could do it this year, but starting off against Chile, we've seen some exciting stuff already in the round of 32 DO. No sweeps yet.
No sweeps. We've already had a tiebreaker. We had the very interesting 5-2 match between the USA and Israel just now. I think this is going to be a matchup where you kind of expect a similar result as we saw in USA versus Israel, maybe a little bit more one-sided. There's a couple of things that Chile has the potential to take points off of Canada on. Those 2 things, I think, are going to be the hidden pool, specifically that low approach rate hidden, and the DT pool, specifically something like the DT3, maybe the free mod 2 as well. They're a good speed team, and they're a good hidden team. But on the hard rocks and no mods, as well as things outside of the raw speed maps like the DT1 and the DT2, you're really going to prefer Canada 9 times out of 10 on those types of picks, and you're going to expect them to outperform Chile by a pretty wide margin.
All right, so Canada going to be banning first.
I'm honestly expecting, the hidden 2 ban from Canada. This is a team that has a really, really good speed roster. I don't think they're going to be too scared of Chile on a lot of the speed maps, but I think for this Canadian roster, you're lacking a little bit of the low approach rate reading in terms of, fielding a 4th player to really make sure that you have a super solid roster for that sort of pick. And for Chile, I feel like they really just want to ban out a hard rock or a no mod here and get rid of one of those types of maps that they know they lose by a pretty wide margin. And then just try their hand at the hidden 1, some of the double times, that free mod 2. They're going to go with the free mod 1 as a ban. I think that's a fine ban for Chile. It's a very, very awkward aim map. We saw it in the last match between the USA and Israel. It's definitely something that Chile does not want to be playing in this matchup.
And Canada will get things started with the opening pick of this match. We await the decision. So, there's definitely a lot of options here for Canada. They certainly look good on free mod. They're always a team that's been able to handle free mod quite well. But have to bet that they're going to be going into the speed-oriented picks here.
They've definitely got a very good roster for stuff like the DT1. Given how close Chile can make stuff like the DT3, I don't know if they'll be picking into that, but they do go for a different type of aim map. They're going to go into Hard Rock 1. And I think that's a relatively good pick for Canada. In the Hard Rock pool, in qualifiers, Canada had a 1 million or greater advantage on both Hard Rock maps in qualifiers. I think the lowest advantage they had was like 970k or 920k on Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 2. So, yeah, very, very good pick for them here. This map, a little bit techy, a little bit of slider aim. Not hugely slider aim focused, but enough that it's there and you have to pay attention to it. And for a team like Chile, who struggles on the aim consistency to begin with, that extra bit of slider aim and burst heavy focus in this map is going to make it a real challenge for them to put together consistent scores. So really like the pick from Canada.
Yeah, but for some reason the client is saying this is Chile's pick, but it is definitely Canada's pick from the player chat, so we'll have to get that fixed. But waiting for the rosters here, still waiting for Chile to get a fourth player in the lobby. This is now a great time to tell you guys that we have banners in the Oz store available for purchase if you would like to make your profile look cool and support your favorite team as well as the tournament, you can get a banner in the Off Store for $2.50 plus tax. And it'll be on your profile for the duration of the tournament, and if you guess the winning country, it stays on your profile longer.
You can also now directly support the World Cups. There should be a donation link to directly support the World Cups if you want to do more to support your favorite players and the OS competitive scene as a whole. You can donate directly to the World Cups, which is something that is new this year, specifically for the World Cup 2022. So if you do want to support the World Cups in general, as well as specifically the OS World Cup, make sure to do that in addition to those banners if you are feeling so generous. And now it seems like we have got just about everybody. It looks like we're having some trouble getting Unable onto the tournament server for Chile. Yeah, it looks like they are missing a player that they want to have in for this map, and he is not on the tournament server. So hopefully we'll be able to get him in shortly and get started with this matchup. And there's the swap. There's all players in. Very, very good aim consistency and hard rock specific roster for Canada. Zylice, Xootynator, Rupertion, and RyuK in for them. All very, very good. Either hard rock players or aim players or both. Eunha, suntan, ChXChokgamer, and Unable in for Chile. A lot of their fill players in for Chile on this one, either hard rock or DT mains or fill players for this map, which makes a lot of sense. Again, this is really not what they like to play for Chile.
Hard Rock won the opening pick from Canada. We are underway. It's a very short one, just over 2 minutes. So don't blink. This one will be over shortly. Rupertion will find the opening miss very early. Unable trades. ChXChokgamer as well. So advantage Canada.
Saw a miss right at the start from Xootynator as well, but that is everyone gone for Chile. Yeah. I was talking about Chile having some troubles with aim consistency. I didn't think we'd see it this quickly into the map, but here we are.
And Canada already pedaled to the metal. 3 FCs, nearly 4. RyuK is going to drop one of them, but again, Chile is constantly finding misses. They have basically no combo. The Eunha with the biggest combo on the side of Chile, only at 240. And again, Chile just really not having a good time on this as Zylice and Xootynator put up the clinic halfway through.
Yeah, this is what you expect when you get high seed versus low seed on the high seed's first pick. None of that breakpoint nonsense we saw in the last matchup, just the high seed demolishing it right here. More than double score for Canada on their first pick. Zylice, Xootynator, and Rupertion largely to thank for that really high score margin. Rupertion going to find another break here about 2/3 of the way through, but it will not matter at all. This is already over a 1 million score lead, 3/4 of the way into the map with what is essentially 2 full combos left on Zylice and Xooty. Very, very early slider break for Xooty in this map.
And that is pretty much going to seal it at this point. There is nothing that Chile can do on this opening pick. It's going to be 1-0 Canada. Zylice will not make it home with the FC. It's all on Xootynator. Final section. She brings it home.
She does finish it out. Not quite a million score for Xooty, but well over a million score. The difference there on Hard Rock 1. Look how far that red bar is over to the left. 2.9 million to 1.3 million, more than double score for Canada on that one. And yeah, that's what you expect to see in this sort of matchup on Canada's first pick. Chile very clearly uncomfortable with the hard rock, with the aim consistency, and with some of the intricacies of a map like that is a little bit trickier than you would typically expect in the hard rock 1 slot. But Canada really, really taking advantage of that and setting up Chile for a tough matchup, that's for sure. Setting them up for a tough match as we get into what is probably a hidden pick or a speed pick from Chile. Yes, Canada is also good at those, but that's really all Chile has going for him in this matchup on paper. So I very much expect Chile to pick into those, despite them being typical strengths for this Canadian roster.
Yeah. When your skill sets overlap, there's just nothing you can do. It's just kind of a tough spot if you are the player or team that's not favored but you have to pick into those skill sets because that's the only shot you've got at getting a point.
Yeah, Canada not really a team with weaknesses to abuse, and we are actually going to get something I didn't talk about too much, but this pick does still make sense for Chile. It's low approach rate and high circle size in free mod, and this is a roster that is very good at that low approach rate, specifically on hidden. But even if they have to have one person on Hard Rock, they can afford one person on Hard Rock and let everybody else take that low approach rate for Chile.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the more unconventional free mod pick of the pool. As you said, AR8. We've seen a lot of teams that are comfortable in the way are hidden. They will also go to this. We see Eunha, Suntan, Gonzah, and Unable already in the lobby for Chile. They're ready. Canada still getting their roster together. Zylice and Xootynator are going to remain in the lobby.
Definitely expecting Unable to be taking the Hard Rock for Chile on this map. Also would expect number 37 to come in for this. He's a very, very good reading player and was their best scorer on both runs of Hidden 2 during the qualifiers. That is that low approach rate Hidden. So there we go, number 37 and Gonzah, the two players to watch out for on this low approach rate map for Chile. Suntan as well, generally an all-rounder, probably taking the no mod on this sort of map. No, it's Eunha actually coming in. Maybe going Hard Rock, maybe going no mod, you never know. Basically preference for that player. And Unable absolutely taking the Hard Rock for them. On the side of Canada, it's Zylice, Xootynator, Rupertion, Saryi. I'm thinking hidden only for Zylice and Hard Rock for everybody else. Hidden Hard Rock maybe for some of those members on Canada, as they all prefer that hidden Hard Rock. Maybe a no mod for Saryi, who is still relatively good at that low approach rate reading as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options for Team Canada here. Again, they're just so good at free mod because they've got players that can just, I mean, they can play hidden, they can play Hard Rock, they can play hidden Hard Rock. So, you just gotta worry about not overmodding too much, though. You don't want to take unnecessary risks, but Canada definitely want to take advantage of their strengths here, so we're definitely going to be seeing some sort of overmod on the side of Canada. I would be surprised not to. And there it is, yup, HDHR for Rupertion and Xootynator and Saryi.
Sorry, triple hidden Hard Rock for Canada.
Okay, you gotta appreciate Zylice going, okay, you absolute fiends, hold on, I'm not going hidden Hard Rock, I'll just take hidden.
He has to. He has to take it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. This is the rules. This is the
maximum number of mods allowed on any free mod pick. Full 7 mods for Canada. The maximum over mod potential is here.
Versus the minimum. We have maximum versus minimum, and you can see already on the score line, Canada just taking off. That miss from Suntan is pretty massive, though. If you're the minimum, you are banking on the combo game.
As predicted, though, Unable on the Hard Rock, number 37 on the hidden, Gonzah, Suntan on no mod. Definitely Suntan looking very uncomfortable on this at the start, though. 91 accuracy, finding more and more misses. And Gonzah not having the best run on this either. A quarter of the way in, already finding a break. Gonzah, typically a very good reading player, so not what you would expect from him. It is matched by a miss from Saryi, but definitely a rough start for Chile on this first pick.
Yeah, a rough start indeed, and even though that miss from Saryi does come out, the score advantage is still flying the way of Canada. Suntan consistently missing. They're going to need to see drops from Xooty, Zylice, or Rupertion, one of the three, to keep their hopes alive here. Halfway mark, so if they find drops here, it could open the door. Saryi is going to find another one. Rupertion is also going to find one. That's going to open things up a little bit, but Canada should still maintain a comfortable margin here into the second half of the map.
Yeah, look at the act for the Canadian roster as well. Zylice does trade a miss with Unable, though. It's number 37 and Xootynator, the only 2 full combos left, and better combo on Gonzah than anyone on the side of Team Canada. But the overall accuracy for those hidden Hard Rock plays is still very good, and that mod advantage does still bring you a little bit of extra score, especially when you find repeated misses on Unable for Chile, unable to keep a combo. As the rest of the team really does need that extra little bit of combo here with the under mod for Chile.
Yeah, and it's not going to be enough for Chile to pull this one back. They were able to stop the bleeding and tug it back a little bit, but unfortunately that's all they would be able to do. Just not a consistency. But Xooty and number 37 coming to the end with FCs intact. They both bring him home. FC apiece. Canada leads 2-0.
The full mod, the full 7 mod over mod works out for Canada. This is the tricky part about picking free mod into this roster is, yeah, okay, sure, you get to play the AR8 map for yourself, but you give Canada a hidden hard rock map. And this team, this whole roster is incredibly good, incredibly consistent on hidden hard rock. And that is the difficult part about picking these free mods into Canada. You saw that map was much closer, though. Much closer than the previous one. So still a good pick from Chile, but just not enough gas in the tank.
Yeah, and you know, Chile was probably banking on Canada having at least 1 or probably 2 hidden hard rocks, right? They were probably banking on some sort of overmod. I don't think they planned on Canada to just full send and go max overmod. But I assume when they saw that, they were probably happy because, you know, if they max overmod and you have consistency issues, that can open the door even to a team just on the min mod. And that was the most competitive map of the match, only about a 350 to 400k margin. Canada, next pick, double time 1.
Yeah, Canada's just going to pick aim maps over and over again. This is an aim team. This is an aim consistency team. And they are going to abuse that fact versus Chile, who really lack a solid aim roster. Even on DT, which is a mod where Chile has traditionally been good. You know, missing some of the players that you usually expect to find on this roster, Matthew Intercambing and Daniel, all gone from this roster. So truly a rebuilding year for Chile. And a lot of these players just not traditionally aim players in tournament. The exact opposite for Canada. Lots of very, very good DT aim players in particular. Lots of really, really good hidden hard rock aim players in particular. So you're going to find a lot better of a roster for Canada on this map, and I'm expecting this to go the same way as their first pick, honestly speaking. We could see an upset for Chile, but, you know, it's a small chance. It's a slim chance.
Yeah, Nick stepping in for Canada, so going to be seeing a substitution. Nick's first map of the match. We'll see who Canada... It's going to be RyuK. No shock there.
All of these players, Zylice and RyuK in particular, DT players, DT mains. Not necessarily DT aim players, but DT mains. Zuri and Nick, not necessarily DT players, but very good aim players. So will be in for maps like this regardless because they have the aim necessary to put up very, very good scores on these types of maps. In fact, Zylice, Xootynator, and RyuK found a 3-way full combo on the DT1 and qualifiers. So if you're looking towards a team to be very consistent on a map like this, look no further than Canada, who had an incredibly good 4 million team score on the DT1 and quals.
Well, here we go. Start command is in from referee Tiger Eyes. Get us started in round number 3. Canada picking double time. Again, as you noted, into Chile's wheelhouse a little bit, but with overlapping skill sets and with the way Canada's been playing and their confidence and their morale, definitely justifies the pick. And RyuK and Zylice are going to be cheating here, getting a little bit of a head start on everybody. Stop that. No. False start. 5-yard penalty. Thankfully, Client can do Client things for us. And it'll just be a lone miss from Eunha to separate the two teams at the start.
Yeah, for Chile on this sort of map, again, even though it's in DT, the type of map it is really favors Canada, so you're very much favoring or just hoping for some uncharacteristics out of this Canadian roster, but unfortunately they seem to be coming out of Chile for now. RyuK is going to match one of the misses from Eunha and Gonzah, but that is still 3 full combos to 2 in the favor of Canada.
Yeah, Canada looking good now with those misses coming in. That's a double miss from Nick and Zylice, only traded by Eunha. That's going to favor Chile. Zuri the only combo left standing, and it's against Pancho and Unable. Chile in front for their first time of the match, nearing the halfway point.
Yeah, you want to find those uncharacteristic misses for Canada if you are rooting for Chile. There they are, Zylice and Nick not able to hold on to the combos. Pancho, however, going to trade it back for Chile. So it's just Unable and Xootynator at the moment. Unable, a very, very good mechanics player, very good DT player. Gonzah backing him up as well. Gonzah, not necessarily a DT aim player, but a very good DT speed player in general. So as long as he's good on the aim consistency, this should go well. And more misses to come out from Nick on Canada.
Yeah, now it's reaching a do-or-die situation here, but fortunately for Canada, the margin is still within reach, but the final third of the map is approaching. They are running out of time, and Nick is struggling. Zoota doing everything she can. RyuK rebuilding combo, but unable. And Pancho and Gonzah have other ideas with a 70k lead.
Yeah, this is a very small score lead, though, for Chile. Any miss, especially something from Unable or Gonzah, would instantly
Pancho.
flip it back over to Canada. Pancho does find one.
Oh, multiple, but thankfully... Oh, Gonzah does go down too! Here comes Canada! A chance to flip it! At the end, Nick is gonna miss! Traded by Unable, that's huge for Canada! They flip it! Zooty, RyuK, and Zylice! Pulling it back, there is no combo on Chile's side as the Eunha goes down. It'll be 3-0 Canada. Heartbreaking for Chile.
It was so close until it wasn't at the end.
Until it wasn't.
And then everyone on Chile broke just 30 seconds before the ending. They were unable to hold on to their nerves, unable, dropping the slider break. Everybody else dropping a miss there right at the end for Chile. And it's, again, the team consistency for Canada. Those three players in the top right for Canada, Zylice, Xootynator, and RyuK. The three who full comboed DT1 and qualifiers get their three best scores and bring them over the finish line. A little bit closer than you might have expected for Canada. It's not even a bad score for them, 3.3 million on that. But Chile popping off, finding nearly just over 3 million on that map. Putting up a very, very good team score. Very impressive plays from Chile. Almost managing to take a break point against Canada.
Missed it by that much. Very close. I mean, like you said, it was close until it wasn't. But, I mean, to go back to that team consistency of Canada, I mean, that's what you need. You need people to have combo. You need players to be in position to capitalize when you're trailing. So, Canada just demonstrating consistency quite well. And once Chile broke, there was nothing left. The dam was not able to stop the flood. And Canada sweep in, take a third point. Now they are looking to put some more pressure on.
At this point, you're looking at Chile to make this pick count. I mean, if you lose this and you are Chile, you are down 4-0. That is match point. Canada has the next pick. So this is a very important point for Chile. They really want to make this one count. I see three options left up. The hidden one, the DT3, and the free mod 2. If they're feeling the speed, either that DT or the free mod 2. But they're going to go for something entirely different. No mod 4. Wow, I was not expecting this one. And you can't blame me for being a little bit surprised here. Canada, 660k score difference on the first run of qualifiers. Remember, in OWC, teams have 2 runs through the qualifiers, and on the second run for both of these teams, 1.2 million score difference through the qualifiers, no mod 4. So on paper, this should be a pick for Canada. This should be a pick that Canada looks to as something that they have an overwhelming on-paper advantage on. But Chile looking to surprise us with an unexpected pick here on the No Mod 4. This is a map that some of them have probably played in tournament before. This is one of very few non-custom maps in this map pool. This has been used in some community tournaments before. Specifically, the biggest one would be the Perennial, where it has been used already this year. So some of these players may have already played this map for both of these teams, as it has been found in some community tournaments. And you know, maybe going with something that they recognize a little bit more, something that feels a little more comfortable to them, in spite of the on-paper score advantage looking at the qualifiers for Canada.
Again, we see the cat jams coming in. This map hasn't been picked too much this weekend. It's a good song, good map. We also get to see a new substitution for Canada, Yip, coming in.
No surprises to see Yip in on this map. Very, very good tech player for Yip, and somebody who basically only comes in for tech maps and maybe a precision map here and there. Extremely good at those few maps that he plays, so expecting a good score from him on this one. And of course, Zylice, Xootynator, RyuK. No surprises to see any of them in here. It's going to be Nick, though, subbing in for RyuK on this one. A little bit interesting there. Nick did not play the tech map in qualifiers, but is generally a relatively good player anyway, and on a map like this, which does really heavily focus on that slider aim, I don't think any big surprises there. Gonzah unable, Pancho and Suntan in here. Lots of no-mod players and all-rounders in for Chile on this map. Gonzah just generally a very good player for them, so not surprised to see him in on any of these picks.
Well, here we go. No mod 4. Chile backs against the wall. If they don't get this point, this could potentially be their last pick of the match. 2.5 minutes in length.
For those of you who haven't seen this map yet, this one starts off a little bit slow, starts to get into lots of this really ridiculous slider aim and slider streams, and then in the second half really takes off with super long, super fast sliders in the back half, and already a few misses to come through.
Yeah, from Yip and Pancho, they are going to trade it. Accuracy advantage with Canada at the moment. It's still very close. First quarter of the map is almost already gone. That's how quick it is. Unable is going to find another drop. Yip is going to find his second miss. Nick trading. Things are going to be very even, but Suntan and Zooty trading, so all the misses have been traded. It's only Gonzah and Zylice. Pancho is there as well, but Pancho goes down.
Unable also finding another miss there. Nick is going to trade one of them. Yip has about similar combo to any of the recently traded misses. Suntan is going to drop one more miss for Chile. It's the matching full combos, though, to really pay attention to here. Gonzah and Zylice, if either of them break first, that is what's going to be the major swing in score during the back half of this map. We have a little bit of a slow section here before we get into some of those really, really high velocity, super long sliders in the second half of this map. Hopefully nobody missing on this slow part, though.
Still very close. It's only about a 60 to 70,000 point advantage for Canada. They will build a little more score here. But as you said, a miss comes out from either Zylice or Gonzah, and the floodgates are open. But Canada have slightly better supporting combos than Chile at the moment. So now the lead has grown to about 100k. Suntan finding a miss. Gonzah breaks, and that is massive. Chile's hopes may have just been dashed unless we see multiple misses from Canada, and one of them is Zylice.
Yeah, Zylice has to break at this point, but the rest of the roster as well, all on over 400 combo for Canada, and it's reflected in the score lead. 400,000 score up and climbing for Canada. They all hit that first long slider. Zylice does find the slider break, but it doesn't matter at this point. The score lead's just too big, Doland, and I think this one may as well be over. Unable drops the last big combo for Chile, and that is going to bring Canada to a 4-0. Looking to complete the clean sweep, our first clean sweep of the round of 32 if Canada is able to pull it off.
Yeah, we have not had a sweep yet. Canada up 4-0 at match point with the pick. That was a break point. They seem primed to do so. Question is, what will be their choice here? And it looks like Zylice rolling too, so it looks like they had it narrowed down to 2 maps.
I'm thinking one of the aim maps that's left up has to be the pick for them, although I just saw Kurtis join the lobby, so maybe this is something like a DT pick. And there it is, actually, DT3 for Canada. Kurtis, the speed specialist for Canada, literally only on this team to play DT, speed, and any other speed maps that have to make their way into the pool. A little bit of an interesting pick, given what we know about Team Chile, but I think Canada generally favored overall in the matchup, generally the more consistent team, generally the higher skill cap team, going to be sitting pretty comfortably on any of these maps in this pool.
Yeah, we saw the last DT pick. It was heavily contested by Chile, but in the end went the way of Canada just because of the overall consistency. Canada getting their new blood in these last few maps here. Looking to get Kurtis some time. And again, Chile just haven't had many subs either. It's been mostly these 4 players in the lobby now for the past several maps.
Definitely expecting a couple of subs at least for this roster. Pancho definitely makes sense. Suntan definitely makes sense to be in here. And, well, actually, Unable is also a DT player, so never mind. I think the only person you would consider subbing in is maybe Eunha, but has not had the best of matches for Eunha, so sticking with these 4 players still makes a lot of sense for Chile. 4 of their best speed players and DT players, so hopefully they are able to take 1 point in this matchup and stop the clean sweep from Canada. But if you are rooting for a clean sweep, if you had 5-0 in your pick'ems, you're definitely looking at this Canadian roster and saying, yeah, that's my roster. These are some good players. These are some very good speed players. And hopefully they will be able to finish it out cleanly. Waiting on perhaps one last swap for Chile. Looks like ChXChokgamer coming in.
ChXChokgamer coming in, and don't worry, guys. Zylice agreeing to give them a point if they can 4-way FC. A very fair and reasonable man.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, you want a 3 points? It's 4-way.
Yeah,
okay.
4-way FC. All right, sure. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
Well, they might have to. I mean, this is a very good roster for Canada, but one thing to note, I mean, you see this with a lot of speed specialists, right? It's kind of the same deal with Suwada on the USA team. Kurtis, a speed specialist, but not a very good aim player, does have the tendency to sometimes shake a bit during speed plays and miss aim and then hit the rest of the map with 99.7% accuracy, right? So maybe you see something like that happen in this match and Chile is able to take advantage, but generally speaking, this is a very scary roster for Canada. RyuK, Zylice, Kurtis, all very, very good speed players, and Xootynator, you know, this is not a map that is hard enough on the speed to speed gate her just yet, despite Zooty really not being a speed player overall. I think she's still going to be pretty comfortable on this map. And already an early miss from Pancho, so not off to the best of starts for Chile, but, you know, they're just shaking the nerves off. They're just shaking the nerves off.
Yeah, still very early days here. It is a very short map with double time applied, only 2 minutes and 20 seconds with DT. A very early lead for Canada. Pancho is going to find a second miss to further extend the lead for Canada here. But it's still trouble for Chile.
He's really shaking the nerves off right now. He's just really taking his time to shake the nerves off, guys. Don't worry.
It's the double apraxia method.
Exactly.
Anyway, Canada's still 4-waying, though. I mean, none of this matters if Canada 4-ways.
Accuracy for Canada, very good as well. 99% on both Kurtis and Xootynator. Zylice and RyuK with a couple of act drops here and there, but still above 98 with no real troubles. Only Gonzah above 99 for Chile right now, but it's still a 3-way full combo for Chile. They are still keeping this close to their credit. This is why I considered the DT3 as a relatively good pick for Chile, but there goes Gonzah. It's traded. Okay, it's traded.
All right, even Steve is still back where we were. But as you noted, Chile are still staying right there with them. They're not that far behind. Things are starting to get a little out of touch here, but if we see misses from Zylice, RyuK, or Zooty, any of those three, 2 of those 3 drop, we're looking at a whole different game, but Unable goes down.
Yeah, Unable missing twice there, finding 2 separate misses, and now it's just ChXChokgamer against the world. 3 full combos to 1. There is good supporting combo on Pancho, but this is just not looking like a good pick for Chile. It's looking like a fantastic pick for Canada, though, who did pick this map with Wit to complete the full sweep. And they're looking pretty likely to do it at this point. Zylice, Zooty, and RyuK all still holding the full combos, and no signs of any discomfort here going into the last few seconds of the map. This is going to be our first sweep of the OS World Cup round of 32. Canada 5-0ing Chile.
And they're going to do it in style here. Over 4 million points. A very, very dominant statement made by Canada here today. As you said, a 5-0 win. First sweep of the tournament. And they are going to carry a lot of momentum with them next week.
Yeah, Kurtis, true to expectations, 1 miss, 99.5% accuracy. Very, very good score regardless, and still enough from the rest of the team to keep them above 4 million score. Very, very solid stuff from Canada. And this is really the expectation when you get some of these high seed versus low seed matchups, right, Dolan? This is kind of what you expect to see from seed 4 versus seed 29. Canada qualifying in as one of the tournament favorites, one of the few teams who we think in late stages can contest for that top 3 or that top 1 at the end of the tournament. And that is the kind of thing that really instills some confidence in a roster like this to make that deep run once again.